Figures, huh? We haven't done anything in 2 weeks and she's already sleeping on the job. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of The Guido Goes Off. As always, I thank you folks for watching. Um, I would like to start this video by apologizing for the lack of videos. Um, as of course you probably saw through the channel, the last video I did was my review of Backlash. I want to start off by saying no, Backlash did not scar me that bad. Although, between you and me, it deepened my hatred of Big Cass. I don't really know if that came across. Unfortunately, some things got in the way involving my personal life. I can't really get into much detail, but there's that and also some issues with my health. Um, a few weeks ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started a new diet on the advice of the Guido medical team and trying to get things into balance as far as that is concerned. It has had an effect. I don't know if you can see, but I have lost about 15 pounds. Um, but I think some of that also has to do with the other thing that happened in the past 2 weeks, and that was um, last week I was battling the flu. Again, the Guido medical team, uh, you know, took care of me. I am recovering. The reason why I'm speaking so softly is to preserve my voice, and I'm still um, having a bit of the after effects. And I'm recovering. I am not dead, nor am I dying. Um, as I'm saying, I'm doing this lifestyle change actually to, of course, prolong my life, because that'd be awesome. If there's enough interest, I might get into that. But in addition to health issues, there's other things I was dealing with. Those I'm not going to get into. Um, but for those who that were worried about me, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. For those of you who weren't, thanks. And again, I'm sorry for speaking so softly. Um, you should be able to hear me, because normally I will blast your eardrums with my regular voice. But like I said, I'm still recovering from the flu, and I am trying to ease into some things. So, without further ado, let's get started. So anyway, in this video, I want to talk about some of the big updates involving the All In show. For those of you that don't know, Cody Rhodes and Cody and the Young Bucks have personally financed an independent show, which they have titled All In, as in they fully invested. It will take place on September 1st at the Sears Center in Chicago, Illinois. Um, as you know, this is like a really big thing, because they're talking about it being one of the largest independent wrestling shows. Um, and so there's been some big things announcing. Um, one of which was tickets went on sale this past Sunday. Um, they were making 10,000 tickets available. Well, the event sold out in less than a half hour. All 10,000 seats were sold. I know there's there was still some figures that were they were waiting on, but yeah, it was officially announced on Monday that the event was sold out. Um, it's interesting because a lot of people thought it wouldn't sell out, wouldn't even sell that many tickets. And, you're talking about an indie show where ringside seats were going for about $125. Um, but, as I said, it sold out in, I think it was 29 minutes and 37 seconds, so less than a half hour. Of course, there was a lot of congratulations. Even Jim Cornette, who we know is not a fan of the Young Bucks, even he congratulated them on this. Of course, there were their detractors. Even Dave Meltzer was saying that they wouldn't even sell 2,000, let alone 10,000. Now, to put how big this is into perspective, Ring of Honor, over WrestleMania weekend, had their biggest house draw at Supercard of Honor, and that was about 5,000 people in attendance. And that's a pretty big number. I mean, that's still half of all in. Well, maybe even to put this into even more perspective, last year's NXT TakeOver Chicago, the show that was headlined with the Authors of Pain versus DIY and featured, of course, the breakup of Ciampa and Gargano, that only drew 8,000. So this is becoming a pretty big deal. And I'm just going to seamlessly transfer to one of the reasons that it might be is because of the possibility of a certain person making his first professional wrestling appearance in over 4 years. It was announced through Pro Wrestling Tees that former WWE superstar, current UFC fighter, and Pride of Chicago, CM Punk, will be doing a meet and greet at their physical store location in Chicago. I believe that is on August 29th, which will be a couple of days before All In. Now, there's been no commitment. I believe they might have reached out to him, even if it's just to show up and say hi. But there has not been, at least as far as a response back. As you know, CM Punk he's got a big fight coming up, his second UFC fight here in a few weeks, I think a couple weeks, at UFC 225, I think. He has a second fight come up, of course. He lost his first fight, but yeah, it's still a very big name, very big draw. And people respect that, he's still on the main part of the card, even though he's saying he'd be okay fighting on Fight Pass. I mean, can you name me another 0-1 fighter that has fought on the main card of a UFC pay-per-view? I didn't think so. But, like I said, it's a possibility, but nothing is set in stone about CM Punk being at the event. But it is, they're saying that there's still a speculation that this could be the reason why the event sold out so fast. One person who will not be in attendance is everybody's favorite Vince. No, not Vince McMahon. That would be Vince Russo. Recently, Russo took to Twitter, saying that he would be more than willing to be a part of All In. This was met by a response from Cody saying, saying, quote, "We do not reward bad behavior." As everybody knows, earlier this year, Russo took issue with Pro Wrestling Sheet owner Ryan Satin and his girlfriend tweeting a picture of themselves wearing wrestling masks while watching the Oscars. It blew up to the point where fans of Russo were, threatening Satin's girlfriend. And in response to these threats and these things, Podcast One removed Vince Russo from its lineup. He does his show somewhere else. He's claiming he's making more money than he did on Podcast One. But given that he's still, he's begging for more attention than a Kardashian, it's still iffy. As an after Cody's response, Russo said, "Well, you know where to find me." Blah, blah, blah. Basically, I don't blame Cody for this. It's his event. It's partially his event. He and the Bucks will have and will not have who they want and do not want to have at their event. Now, it's also worth noting that close to the event, there is going to be what they're calling a StarCon, in which several wrestling podcasts will be setting up shop. I don't know if Russo's going to try and get in there, but my guess is nobody wants him anywhere near the event, and I can't imagine why you would want that wonderfully, hilariously pathetic piece of human excrement anywhere near your event. But enough compliments to Vince Russo. Now, as I said before, the event is sold out. Now, I am not sure if there's going to be an IPPV that might have been announced at the press conference they had last week. I am not sure. I will try to look into that for everybody. But as it stands right now, there's, which I believe that if it was on IPPV, it would be a very big ticket item. There's going to be a lot of, people wrestling there. Hopefully Flip Gordon, Sorry, I just like Flip Gordon. I really do. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Guido Goes Off, this All-In update. So what do you guys think of All In? Who would you like to see perform at All In? As always, and of course, what are your thoughts on these guys putting on this event, and which could already be a financial success? As always, let me know in the comments section below, and you can always talk to me via my social media. I haven't said this in a while, but if you like what you see in this show, like this video, share it with everyone you know. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. Of course, hit the bell for notifications on upcoming episodes. So until then, I am the Guido, and I think we're done here.